Hello YouTubers, it's Barbie J here. Welcome to my channel, June BLC. Hey there everybody, it's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of The Equalizer, Season 4, Episode 9, The Big Take. The Big Payback! No, it's The Big Take. I wish it was The Big Payback. Anyway, before we get started, if you are new to this channel or if you are returning to this channel and have not subscribed as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, write a comment, join the conversation, and share because sharing is caring. Now, this was a good episode, and we finally got a love connection. Well, we got a fight, too. We got a fight. They were arguing and everything. I was like, this ain't good for us. We need Robin and Marcus together. We need Dante and McCall together. And it wasn't working out. I was like, this is not good. So I got very disappointed. But let's just start off here. It starts with Fisk. Oh, God, I can't stand Fisk. He's meeting with Robin and tells her that there's a prison transport break or something, and they took a guy named Leon Katz who designed super vaults for the rich and the famous. And Robin's like, okay, so what they got to do with me? I was supposed to be going with my auntie and my daughter to the beach. And he said the guys who attacked the prison guards are attached somehow to that Randall Grail guy that she had him looking out for. And that's the guy who got away from Dante many episodes ago, and he blamed Robin because she wasn't there on time for him. Remember, Grail killed, I think it's Dante's old partner, Officer Jack Lowry, something like that. And he promised his widow and child that he'd catch Grail and bring him to justice. So Robin always felt bad about that. Even Mel felt bad because she felt that he went back to get her and save her, else she would be dead if Dante didn't go back. But he did, and she's here today for it. Anyway, so Robin and Harry are discussing the info he's found out thus far. And when he asks Mel a question, she responds in his wife Mel's voice. And Robin is like, what's going on here? I thought Mel was somewhere else. He said, nope, Mel has taken over her voice. I said, oh my God. So anyway, when he finishes talking to Robin, he turns around and finds Fisk standing behind him. They discuss this secretive case that Fisk had Harry helping him with, and then Fisk tells him that they have to leave that night and fly to Budapest, Hungary. And Harry's like, I can't just leave for 2 days without telling my wife why. And Fisk wants him to make up a lie and tell her. And he's making Harry believe that he's protecting Mel by doing this. And I'm pissed at Fisk because who the heck are you? That's why you don't have a wife. Who are you to tell him to keep secrets from his wife? That will break up a marriage in a heartbeat. Sneaking behind, doing things. And Harry should have trusted Mel enough to know to tell her way in advance. Anyhow, Robin goes to the hospital to meet up with Dante, who was checking on his father, who's in a coma. She tells Dante what she knows so far about Grail, and then Harry calls letting them know something about a storage unit. When they get to that unit and open it, they find Leon Katz shot dead on the floor. They also see an empty tube that contained vault schematics, and they took the empty tube that had a marking or initials or something on it to Harry. So Dante goes back to the precinct, and while he's there, Officer Lowry's widow and daughter show up unexpectedly. What is that? Elaine and Kayla, whatever. And they're saying that they heard that Jack's killer was back in town. Is it true? And he said yes. And so the officer's daughter, whom, by the way, she calls Dante Uncle Marcus, states, you're going to get him this time, right? And Dante promises that he will. At this time, we see Captain Watkins standing by her office watching them, but they don't notice it. So Dante leaves to meet up with the team in the Batcave. I love calling it the Batcave. And they learned that the schematics that was missing from that tube, which had the 64 HP written on it, were for a gentleman named, what was his name? Huxton Pope, a billionaire art collector who owns a museum. And Pope has recently acquired a necklace that belonged to Queen Victoria, and it was worth several $100 million. So we know that's what Grail is going after. We also see Grill talking to his team of 3 other folks about a heist they're all about to pull. And he said if anyone messes this up, they're going to have to answer to him. I said, uh-oh, it's about to go down and be dirty. Now, before Dante left the Batcave, his phone rang. And it was Captain Watkins. And she called him back into the office and let him know, does this, what he's working on, have anything to do with this Lowry case? Because he is too close to it and that she doesn't want him touching it. And she told him he better not touch it. And she gave him something else to do instead. And he was pissed. So he calls the team and let them know what the deal is. And then he lets them know that he got a tip about this girl named Cassidy. When Mel and Robin get there, the girl is getting arrested. So now the girl is back at the precinct. Dante sneaks in the interrogation room and talks to the girl. She lets him know that she found out that they're going to do the heist that night at 9 p.m. So now, while all of this is going on, we have Aunt Vi and Delilah. They've rented this beach home as a weekend getaway. They found a 17-year-old girl named Monique in the house. And she said she just wanted to see what a beach looked like, but she got cold and entered the property through the open window. She looked harmless, but Aunt Vi wanted to call the police on her. But Dee begged her not to call by reminding Aunt Vi what she said about one mistake can ruin a person's life, forever. And so she asked Monique, did she have somebody she could call? And Monique said, yeah. So she called her mother. She told her to put it on speaker. And her mother said she would come and pick her up. And while waiting for her mother to arrive, Dee kept talking to the girl. And we learned that the girl's mom won't let her go out because there's too many germs outside. Then we see that she has like several different medications from different pharmacies and hospitals. We learned that she hasn't seen her father in 10 years because of her disorder, which makes him uncomfortable. She says she has an autoimmune disorder. At least that's what her mama's telling her she has. So all of a sudden her phone rings and it's an alarm letting her know she has to take a medication. She opens up the bag and pulls out all these different medications. It was like 4 or 5 of them. And she took one of them and said she feels tired all the time. And she said, is it okay if she lay down? Vi told her to go in the room in the bed. So when she went in the room in the bed, Dee sat down on the steps and started looking through her medications, and Aunt Vi was telling her to stop. Meanwhile, back at the precinct, Detective Dante left the interrogation room and he sees Captain Watkins standing at his desk, and she laid into him about disobeying her orders. And she gave him another order, which was to stay on a stakeout that night. And she told him if he did it again and disobeyed her order, it'd be the last one he gets. He was so pissed at that point. So he had to call Robin and them and tell them what went down. And he told them about the information he found out about the heist going down at 9 o'clock that night. So they told him, don't worry, we got it. And he was like, no, I have to be there. I saw the hope in his widow's face and his daughter, and I have to be there for him. And they like, we got it, we got it. And she's like, Robin was like, think it through, Dante. He was like, I thought it through and I'm going to be there or something like that. So they hang up and Robin tells them, look, we can't do that because what happens if we go through this whole thing? And Mel said, and Grail is not there because last time he did the heist from not being there, he had his people doing it. So, and they might catch his team, but Grail will still be free. So they had a plan and decided to get the diamond necklace themselves. So as Grail and his men are discussing how they're going to do the jewelry heist, Robin, Mel, and Harry end up doing the same thing before they could, about 3 hours before they could. So when Robin told Dante what they did, he got so mad at her, told about now we missed the opportunity. It's the element of surprise, all this stuff. And she was saying things to him and he was like, I don't need a therapist. She said, I'm not your therapist. I'm your friend. And he was mad saying I shouldn't have never told you anything about my father. I'll never do it again. I mean, it was a big blow up argument. It was ridiculous. And you know what? Dante was wrong. And Robin kept telling him, he's going to call. Grail is going to call. Just wait. If he went through all this trouble to break somebody out of jail, he really wants that necklace. He'll call. So he said, well, you know what? Whenever he calls, you let me know. And he turned to walk out and her phone rang and it was Grail calling to do a meet. So now back at the beach house, Delilah has just gotten off the phone with her dad. She asked him about all these various prescription drugs that Monique had, and he said they shouldn't be taken together. And he said this may be a case of minution by proxy, which is when a parent intentionally makes their children sick to get attention, which was crazy. And Aunt Vi keeps saying, this is none of our business, Delilah, and to mind her business. But then the girl came out, Monique came out, and Delilah tried to talk to her and let her know what her father said about the different drugs. She let her read some of it. And she said, but why would my mom do that? And Vi said, you're going to have to ask your mother about that. So she said, you don't understand. I'm all she has. And Delilah tried to explain to her her situation with her mom. So the girl said, okay, said bye, and she left. So now we have Dante meeting in the park with Grail. He gives him the necklace, lets him see it, then pulls out a gun on Grail. But as always, the bad guys are always 2 steps ahead. And Grail lets him know that he could tell that he has a sniper up in one window and another person in the other window. And they're like, how does he know that? And then they realize he had a drone flying. So the drone saw him. Then he let Marcus see that he had Lowry's wife held hostage, that if anything happened to him, she would die. And he had 2 of his people watching her in the van. So Harry put the drone on a loop. It gave Robin a chance to run downstairs, jump on her bike, and follow the Marcus car. So Harry was tracking it so she could follow it. Then he had Mel. She had to run downstairs, and Harry was able to tell her where they were holding Lowry's wife. And so Mel went there, beat up those 2 girls, got Lowry's wife out there. Robin is still trying to reach it to Marcus. Marcus is in the car. Lowry told him to handcuff himself to the steering wheel because he had the gun now. So there was nothing Marcus could do. So he had the gun. Why am I calling him Marcus instead of Dante? I have no idea. Anyway. So the guy comes over, one of Grail's other guys, he comes over and said, my system has been compromised. I don't know. I can't get in touch with the 2 girls or the drone. And so he shoots him. Grail shoots him because his airtight plan didn't work. And he got out the car and he was leaving Dante, and Dante yelled, you're not going to get away with this. He said, I already have, and shot Dante twice. Pop, pop. Now, had he shot him in the head, Dante would have been gone. Luckily, he shot him in the body, stupid. Shut your mouth, and you should have let him go. Anyway, soon as he got out the car and was running towards the helicopter to get away, Robin came on her bike, nipped him on the foot, knocked him down. He tried to shoot at her. She got him down and punched him in his face like 5 times. Pah, 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 pah. She told him, I was like, oh, shoot, and left him knocked out. And then she looked over at the car and saw Dante slumped over the steering wheel. She's like, Dante, she ran over there. Oh my God, Dante. She's feeling him and trying to open up his button to see if he have on a bulletproof chest. She was like, wake up, Dante. And he finally woke up, and she was like so relieved. I was like, girl, the way she was acting like that was her man. I thought they was about to kiss. And last thing he said to her was like, I'm so glad you didn't listen to me. And that was that. I said, oh my God. So back to Delilah and, I'm sorry, y'all, I had to go back. Delilah and Aunt Vi at the beach house. And Dee is, in her bed sad, and she's letting Aunt Vi know that she wish she could have reached, Monique. And she's like, sometimes we do the best we can. Aunt Vi's giving her advice. She said, you always know what to say, Aunt Vi. She said, I didn't know what to say when I got you arrested. She said, that was my choice. She said, but I encouraged you. So she let her know that we don't always get it right. We try to help people as much as we can. If they listen or take the advice, it's up to that. But then she said, I wish I could have done more. If there was something more I could have done. And Aunt Vi put down the 3 bottles of medication and said, in this case, there's nothing else you needed to say. Monique had thrown out those pills in the garbage can outside by the house. And so Delilah was so happy. She said, I guess Monique will be fine after all. So now we back to Harry and Mel, and he lets her know that he has to go out of the country for 2 days with Fisk. Fisk told him to promise not to tell her or anybody, but he didn't want to continue lying to her. And she's like, after everything I went through with my family and everything, you know how I feel about that. And he said, I was trying to protect you. She said, everybody who's ever lied to me used that as a reason. I don't need protection. I need honesty. I said, tell him, Mel. And she said, you're supposed to be the one person in this world that I can trust. He said, you can still trust me. She said, can I? And he's like, are we going to be okay? And she was like, look, I'm not mad. She said, I'm more hurt. And I said, uh-oh, when you hurt somebody, that's a different level of something that you did to somebody. Because when you hurt them, it's hard to come back from them. You could be mad and get over it. But when you're hurt, that's a deep cut. And then she turned away from him and said, I'll see you when you get back. And honey, they start playing that song Easy by Ella May. It was playing in the background and it was just so much emotional music. I mean, the emotions was flowing. You see him walking down this corridor, getting into the car with Fisk and opening his fake passport. And then you see Dante at the precinct hugging Lowry's widow and daughter. Then we see Mel sitting in a booth at the bar, and she gets a text from Eric from the Veteran Support Group saying he's having trouble. Can we meet? And it seems like she's getting up to take care of that while that LMA song is still playing in the background. And then it ends with Marcus Dante and Robin McCall meeting somewhere by some water, and they're talking. And honey, it happens. It goes down what we've been waiting 4 freaking seasons to happen. He tells her that he wants to apologize to her for the way he spoke to her. She's very understanding and said, you've been in so much pressure. And he's like, that's no excuse. I said horrible things I didn't mean. Can you ever forgive me? And she said, of course. And then it was, he mentioned if what he said under that truth serum made her uncomfortable, he apologized. She said it didn't. Because he was like, because I meant every damn word of it. Y'all remember when he was on there talking about her eyes and how Robin will take care of it. She always does. She's this, she's that. That man loved him so, Robin. But then she started talking about, oh, when I saw you slumped over that steering wheel, all I could think about is we never got a chance to have that drink. And she said, I didn't think we can make this work until now. I said, oh, shook it now. And it went down and it happened. But I love the fact that she did this saying, you know, she kept letting him know, I'm not going to let you do this. Your boss will take your badge. I'm not going to let you do this. Like, give up your job, lose your job for this. I will do this for you. And I love that part. That was so deep for me. Hallelujah. But anyway, it went down at this moment, y'all. And I was like, here it go, y'all. And they started kissing, and that LMA song is still playing in the background, talking about making love hard, and it shouldn't be hard, it should be easy. Oh, Lord, I was in here screaming and hollering. Y'all see how I'm getting with this? Oh, Lord, it finally happened. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all felt about this episode, because it finally happened and we are so happy. I'm so happy I took pictures and put it in this daggone review, because y'all know I never put pictures and scenes from the episode in the reviews anymore because it takes so much time. But this was all worth it. I love this episode. I gave it 5 stars in a circle, 3 snaps, and all kind of stuff. This was it. This was the episode. Ha! Now, for those of you who haven't subscribed to this channel, no, I'm just kidding. But don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let me know your thoughts about this episode, and I will see you all in the next video. Remember now, next week is the season finale. And before we go, I am asking for prayers from all of y'all. I have a doctor's appointment this week. I want y'all to pray that there's no cancer found in Barbie J's body. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace. And thank you all. Love you guys.